Well, I'm here with Max Dodson, who is the Executive Director of Caritas, a member of our Saviors, and he's going to share with us a little bit about Grace Upon Grace, our stewardship emphasis this year. And my first question for you, Max, is where have you seen God's abundance during this very difficult year?
That's a good question. I've seen it everywhere. I've seen it in the faces of the number of people that we're serving. Before COVID, Caritas was considered a service to those who are at the margins of society. And yet, in one day, we went from serving those who are at the margins to becoming an essential service. What Caritas did is we went from being a walk-through pantry to being a drive-through service, because that night when the governor said we're going to be safer at home and it's a lockdown, we restructured in one night, put it together, and came up with the plan so that everybody could do walk-through. Now, we're in a facility on a site that has an overhead door, which became our service site. We have a driveway all the way around this building. We did not have to restructure anything to face the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the people are concerned, the volunteers, the staff here, it's business as usual.
Fantastic.
We haven't changed the mission. We've changed the delivery system, but the mission remains the same. It's business as usual. And in all the struggles that we're facing, the social isolation, we've been very fortunate here at Caritas that we have been able to, as a community within this building, serve the larger community. And in doing so, we do it with optimism every day. And for me personally, because I cannot speak for anyone else, nor would I want to, that's God's abundance.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I gave this up. I didn't have any answers. I didn't know how this was going to happen. God helped me.
Has God amazed you, Max?
God has given me the opportunity to be amazed.
Yeah.
In every moment, in every turn. There are some in our congregation who knew me years and years and years ago. And probably, like Jesus in Nazareth, no, that's not a savior. We saw him when he was a kid. No, that's not happening.
Yeah.
And by no means am I comparing myself to Jesus, except in the fact that I was such a goof as a young person and have grown to so appreciate God's presence in every moment of my life, and humbled by that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sense of strength, of faith, of trust in God's having confidence in me to do the things that I'm doing now.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't about me.
Yeah.
I happen to be in the right place only because God put me here.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
That's amazing. You might even call it amazing grace. So where are you seeing that grace, and how is the way that you give back a reflection of a grace that flows and flows and flows?
The giving back, the grace is reflected in being here, in
Yeah.
engaging the staff, the volunteers, the families that we serve. All of this is grace.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm aware of.
Yeah.
20 years ago, I would have simply said, well, this is my job. I'm just doing my job. I'm just getting this done. No, there is this layer of awareness. There is this reality that I did not have in the past that I have today. All these movements, all these interactions, all of this is through God's grace.
Yeah.
All of this. And in saying that, my awareness has grown. My faith has grown. Through my church community.
Mm-hmm.
I could go to any church because we have the choice. I choose to be at our Savior's. It's home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's where I belong. And in doing that, I give where I belong. And in keeping our church strong and healthy and being part of the community,
Mm-hmm.
allows me to be where I am at Caritas. That renewal of faith every time I am in communion with our Savior's community strengthens me. It elevates me. It gives me the chance to be more than I could be
Mm-hmm.
if I were thinking I was doing this myself.
There you go. Yeah.
It is our community, our faith, our awareness of the power of God in our lives that makes all this happen.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate this, Max, and being surrounded here by, maybe not quite yet, 4,300 diapers donated by our Saviors. A few of them have been given away. But
Yes.
walk-in cooler, a walk-in freezer installed in September. Food that's just overflowing. If there's ever a place to find grace upon grace upon grace upon grace being flowing in God's hands in the midst of COVID, it's right here. God is so good. So thank you so much, Max.
You're welcome.